Good evening, I'm Killian.
And I'm ZeroFoxGiven.
And you're listening to DormalTalk.
Today's episode, horror stories from Reddit. Hidden by KMA Poke. Where are you? I screamed, panic. I run through the abandoned farm. I can't find her. Not in the old house, not in the barn. Run to the empty field, heart racing. As I scan the area, I run into a mound of dirt and trip. Sprawling to the ground, I get up. It hits me. Abandoned farm. I trip over freshly tilled earth. Crouching down, I start frantically clawing with my hands, scooping handfuls of dirt. I hit something hard. It's wood. Are you in there? I cry, pressing my ear to the wood. I hear muffled cries. I start digging again, but realize it's taking too long. Looking around, I see a garden shed. I sprint to it. Ripping the door open, I see a shovel, still caked in dirt, probably the same one the jerk buried her with. I grab it, running back. I started digging with purpose. Soon, the wooden box is exposed. I toss the shovel and rip open the crate. She stares back at me, eyes wide, bound, gagged, but alive. I sigh with relief. Thank God. I reach into my bag, pulling out my rag and chloroform. I crouch down, placing it over her face. She struggles, faints. I toss her over my shoulder. Ah, hell, my brother says, as I walk back to the truck with a smirk. You found her. Yup. You almost had me, though. I laugh. All right, my turn. Where'd you put her? I gesture over to the creek area. Somewhere over there. Drowning's an issue, though. Jerk, he says, running off. I smile, watching him go. I love adult hide-and-seek.
Well, that's just disturbing. Sounds like a pretty sick and twisted game. And I bet it's multi-generational, too, since it's two brothers playing. I can already imagine their sick, twisted fathers and uncles playing this game years before.
You never know. I mean, it could be that way, or it could just be them. And then, even worse, they could pass it down. Like, that's gnarly, man. I was kind of hoping, as horrible as it sounds in this way, but compared to the ending, it's not as bad, that, like, maybe he finds her, and then the killer gets him, and that's where, like, it gets, like, sad, but at the same time, you know, despite the fact that it's a sad ending, that's significantly happier than this one.
Yeah, the setup's pretty cool. You think the character is the victim, you know, frantically trying to save somebody. It's really gets you on his side. A lot of these stories are really great because the big reveal is just one sentence near the end, and I really like that format that we've been reading lately.
And even though it wasn't on our first video, like the first one we read, I hate it when Charlie goes away, like that ending line, because I have to pretend to be good until he gets back. That was just like, that embodies all of this, and that was kind of like the kickoff point for us, you know? We're like, we got something here. This is fun.
Yeah, just the one-line expositions. Everything becomes hauntingly clear after just that one hitter. This is another great one. Who is the author on this one? KMA Poke?
KMA Poke, something like that.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, KMA Poke.
They did a good job.
But yeah, no, they did do a good job. The ones that I'm noticing, though, the best are like Hunt Frog and I Post at Midnight. Those guys got some good stories.
Shouts out Hunt Frog.
The Brave Ones by Scary Max. Here they come again, the Brave Ones. Another Halloween night, and the kids are back, here to prove their fearlessness. The old house floorboards creak beneath their seekers. Only a half hour until midnight, so I have to work fast. I start with their flashlight, blowing lightly against it so that it flickers. This inspires little more than a nervous giggle. 15 minutes until midnight. Time to take things up a notch. I hover over the ceiling and will my body into flesh. My every nerve is on fire, but they've given me no choice. I force drops of blood to trickle out my nose, but the boys below don't notice. I knock against the ceiling. They won't even look up. I thought this place was supposed to be haunted, says the leader. What a joke. 5 minutes till midnight. I'm running out of time. With the last of my strength, I scream so loud that they finally turn and look up at me. I like to think I put on a good show. I sway on an invisible noose and the blood flows freely from my nostrils now. A couple of drops hit the skinny one with a crew cut. The boys scream and run into the night. Just in time. Below me, I hear the thing return. Its disappointment palpable. For now, it sleeps. But one day I will fail. The boys will be too brave, and I won't scare them out in time. One day, they will wake it.
Friendly Ghost. Friendly Ghost doing his part to keep the youth alive.
It's Casper, bro. This is Casper right here. This is Casper's final form. This is Casper's final form.
I like it. I think it's super creative. It's kind of sweet, too, in a way.
Yeah, actually, all jokes aside, it's like very noble of this, apparition to be like actively trying to prevent the summoning of whatever the thing is. And every year around Halloween at midnight, man, that makes me tiring.
I don't know if he can prevent this summoning. It sounds like there's nothing he can do to prevent this summoning. He can just do his best to make sure no one's there when it happens.
Well, no, that's why he says to awaken it fully. Basically, it probably either needs a host for sustenance or to inhibit its body, which is why he tries to scare them out before midnight. And that's what I'm saying. Like he's actively preventing the actual summoning of this thing. It wakes up every so often, but to keep it awake and functioning, somebody has to be there at midnight. And who knows how long this has been going on, but he's been actively stopping it.
Kudos to our friendly ghost, Casper. Thank you for all the lives you saved.
Napping in the car by Boo with 4 underscores. Mommy always leaves me and Daddy home on Saturday nights. Me and Daddy always go get ice cream in the car after dinner. I have to sit in the back seat until I'm a big boy. I go into the kitchen to see what Daddy is cooking for dinner after my Barney movie is over. But he's not in there this time. I saw a note on the counter that said Mommy and Uncle James were going somewhere together. I'm not sure. I don't read that good. I go find Daddy in the garage. I shut the door behind me like I'm supposed to. Daddy is in the car. He already has the car turned on. We must not be eating dinner tonight, only ice cream. I get in the back seat behind Daddy since I'm not a big boy yet. Daddy doesn't say anything when I say hello to him. Maybe he can't hear me over the loud car. I think I'll take a nap on the way to ice cream. I kind of feel sleepy.
Interesting. Horrible. What was the note? A note from the wife saying that she's leaving the husband, and then the husband commits suicide?
More than likely, that's exactly what's going on.
Wow, what a shame. Poor kid. Shuts the door behind him just like he's supposed to.
Yeah, and it's just rough. Like, dude, I get that what's happened to the dad sucks, but he just leaves the kid like that. That to me.
Oh yeah,
it rubs me the wrong way.
That's the whole. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a story if just the dad, if it was just a dad in the car and he killed himself. I think this is really why we just shouldn't have garages.
That's not where I saw that going. But no, actually, but that's kind of what I was saying. Like, just in general, the dad, offing himself to me is a little bit rough when he has the kid there, because it's kind of selfish. I get that it hurts, but it's like, what about the kid, man? At that moment, he's all like, nope, my life's done. It's like, you're a child.
Yeah, no regard for what happens after he leaves this world. Doesn't even care if his kid finds him dead or ends up in the same position.
The Twist at the End by AI1267. Cradling my 4-year-old daughter in my arms, all I could do was listen as the screaming outside the house got louder and louder, interspersed with sounds of violence and horrible wet thuds, and the unmistakable echo of muscle and sinew resisting the force that was slowly tearing them apart. It just started 3 days ago. Something happened out there in the world, and before we even got news of what's going on, seemingly half the world was gone. Police and military were unable to stop it. Providing such a short frame of resistance, it's hard to know whether it was real or just a fluke. There was no centralized target, no way to use our most powerful weapons, not without incinerating ourselves in the process. They poured forth across the world, from wherever it was that it had started. I hear banging at the door downstairs, and screams of people being slaughtered. Unable to mount a proper resistance against such a force, it doesn't take long before pounding gives way to the splintering and the sound of shattering wood. They're in the house. No more than a moment or two passes before the door of the bedroom starts shuddering. The things I piled against it are holding for now, but I know realistically, they're going to manage to come through. I keep rocking my little girl, humming a lullaby in her ear to calm her as she cries. The pounding grows in force and volume, the frame starting to crack. I put my little girl on my lap, her back to my chest. I stroke her head with both hands just the way she loves. The effect is instantaneous. Her, despite crying, calms to a series of sobs and hiccups. Her small body shuddering against mine in fear, I keep humming to her, soothing her hair, acting for all the world as if nothing is out of place, not a single thing amiss. Agonizing slow in a reverse cadence of the sound of splintering wood, she calms down. I can feel it when she stops tensing. As I keep stroking her down the sides of her head, a final hiccup of a sob. When she falls quiet, her body relaxes. She doesn't even have time to realize what's happening, as I twist her neck with a violent jerk, accompanied by a dry snap of a sound. She's dead before she can even slump into my lap. The door is giving away now, the furniture pushed back. I may be torn limb from limb while I scream, but at least my baby angel's safe from harm. So this one, we still don't know what the heck is going on. All we know is that it seems to be like The Mist, but except that one had that terrible twist at the end where like he kills the family and everybody, and then it's the military coming in to save him. But on this one, like no, she's actually going to die. So what she does is kills her child before they can kill her child. I don't know. It's like a mixture of both sick and sweet at the same time. I don't know how to describe that. What do you think?
I think it would be harder to do with not a baby. You know, if your child was 5, 10, I don't know if they would even be able to do that, to stomach that. I think it makes sense to me. I wouldn't think a parent is a monster if death is certain in that particular situation. Probably rather die in my parents' arms than at the hands of some painful, unseen, unknown force. However, yeah, I think you have to be a baby to be able to stomach doing that. I think once the child gets a little older, you can't just snap a 5-year-old's neck. You know what I mean? I think the actions, I don't know why, but do you feel the same way?
Both yes and no at the same time. Because, you know, the child is 4 years old.
No, 4, yeah.
But nonetheless, like, if you know for certain you guys are going to die, you can hear it, they've experienced what's going through. I don't know if I could stomach it personally myself to do it, but I can understand the mindset behind it. It's like, look, they're torturing these people and ripping them apart limb from limb. Like, you literally can hear the cartilage and stuff pulling off of their bodies and stuff, and the twisting and the cracking and the spines and like, it's rough, but
it makes total sense to me, honestly. So yeah, she's 4. That is a little bit more animated than I had initially thought. You know, a 4-year-old is learning words and it's starting to grow hair and is really starting to look like what they're going to look like. That's really hard.
Yeah, and it's just but think about how bad the situation is. Like, think about how bad the world has gotten to where she has to do this. And she even, like, says at the end, she's like, I'm going to be ripped limb from limb, but at least my child will be left alone. That's just cold.
Ultimate sacrifice.
Thank you for joining us on DormalTalk. Make sure to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back at you with another video soon. And as always, have a wonderful day.